First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakakadash, and the bonds to those great millstone, while unto his truth, and also to those elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom, and come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So the title of the lesson is Watchman Report, Kenya Digital ID. So I like to say shalom to all our listen and learn. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick news article here by biometricupdate.com. And it reads, it said Kenya targets February 2024 for new digital ID rollout. Sign up optional. Let's get a little bit more. It said the Kenyan government says it plans to register all citizens for a new digital ID program by the end of this year, and the new digital ID cards will be issued from at least February 2024. So we already knowing that, they're implemented. They get ready to carry it out. They get ready to execute. They get ready to perform their agenda, their plan, their plot. So we already know this is getting ready to come into this new digital society. So we already knowing that this digital currency is going to work hand in hand with that grain of rice. We go over these things over and over, but it's happening right before our eyes. So we already knowing that the Kenyan president, the new elected president of Kenya, has sold out to Bill Gates and his agenda. So we already knowing that they were saying also with reports that they're saying they are going to chip the newborn. So I have a video on that. Don't want to talk too much on it, or they will take the video down. So we already know that this is going to go into biometrics. This is going to go into face recognition, palm and eye scanning, also carbon footprint, also universal basic income, and also that digital ID is going to consist of your medical record, driver license, birth certificate, social security card, insurance, and so on. So we already know that these things are coming to pass. So they get ready to bridge the gap. They want that one world government. We seeing it happening right before our eyes. We already knowing that they get ready to roll it out. We seeing these things are constantly picking up. So it's first trials are starting in Kenya right now. So we already know that other countries are going to follow, just like the Bible said. We know that Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15 is speaking off the pages right now. You will not be able to buy or sell unless you be a part of this new society, this new digital society. You know what I'm saying? You got to take it under your skin, if you understand what I'm saying. So they got to get the digital ID in place first. Then they're going to bring forth that digital currency, and also all roads lead to that the final goal, which in fact is that grain of rice. So we seeing all these things are happening right before our eyes, left and right. And a lot of people are still unbelievers, and these things are constantly rolling out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. We seeing these things are constantly rolling left and right. And also the Bill Gates and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation saying that they want to have at least 500 million digital IDs in place by 2028, I believe. But I have a video on that. So they constantly trying to carry out this plan. And also we already knowing that, that badge of servitude is getting ready to come into play, that mark, which in fact is the charagma. So we know that all these things are coming. We're seeing it happening at a fast pace. We know that we're at the end of the dollar, a great economic collapse. A lot of things are happening all around the world. So we constantly seeing these things are picking up. So a lot of people are still playing games, and all the games are about to be over. We seeing these things are constant, and also in California, we seeing that that flooding, that all that rain and wind is constantly it's devastating over there in California, the West Coast. So I put out a little clip on it yesterday, but we seeing right here They're rolling it out, so a lot of people are talking about, oh, there's no microchip, oh, that's not talking about, that is not the market to be. Where we're getting ready to find out all the games here and all this saying this and that. It's getting ready to be a thing of the past. The Lord is getting ready to cease the arrogancy of the proud. They're getting ready to be brought very low. And also the Lord's getting ready to bring that great fear of the Lord back upon these wicked two-thirds, and also the heathen nation. They're getting ready to be brought very low. And also every knee shall what? Bow down. Every tongue shall confess. Because the Lord's getting ready to bring forth that judgment. We see it happening right before our eyes. We already know that they have that fat now out. They have it in place. So these things are all ready. The stage is set. All things are ready. They are rolling it out right before us in plain sight. They're not even hiding it anymore. So they get ready to perform it. But the Lord said they will not be able to perform their enterprise. The Lord, he said, what disappointed the devices of the crafty. Who is the crafty? The global elites, the one that want total control. They want to stay in power, but hey, he have bounds that he cannot pass. So we're at the end of this temporal world. We seeing it happening right before us. We are very excited. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is Kenya Digital ID. So I have a quick precept. Then after precept, we will start the lesson, and I hope that you will get edified. Let's go here to the book of Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 21. It said, there are many devices in a man's heart or his mind. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord that shall stand. So one thing about it, don't matter what man tried to do, or Esau, Edom, these heathen nations, whatever he's trying to perform, he will not be able to do it. Because why? The Lord is in perfect control. That counsel of the Lord shall stand. And one thing about it, that, hey, man, the Lord, a righteousness shall stand. So, hey, wickedness is getting ready to be put out. Deceits and lies. All these things are getting ready to be a thing of the past. That device also goes into what? His agenda, his plan. What I'm saying? His mindset, he's getting ready to try to fulfill it. So we already know what's going over here in Kenya. They're getting ready to implement. We already know that the president has sold out. A lot of these government leaders have sold out. We've seen it happening right before our one world government. That is the goal. Total control. Track and tag everyone on the planet. So when you go into that word smart, it goes into what? Self-monitoring, going to analysis, going to reporting, going to what? Technology. So we already know a lot of technology is getting ready to come into play. AI, robotics. A lot of these things are coming into play left and right. Transhumanism. These things are coming at a fast pace, and we're constantly warning you left and right. The Lord said, keep not silent. Warn them for me. So let's read this again. Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 21 said, there are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord that shall stand. Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. So the Lord, he's in perfect control. And one thing about it, the Lord is calling all these things to happen all around the world, whether you believe it or not. We are all doing the will of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, whether it's good or bad. The Lord controls both sides, the left and the right hand. When you go to Isaiah chapter 45, it tell you the Lord, he created what? Evil, and he also create the good. The Lord is a master chess player. So we seeing that, hey, the Lord counsel shall stand for what? Forever. That is the what? Righteousness. Hey, man, we're here. So now let's start today's video. And after today's video, we'll start the lesson. And I hope that you will get edified.
It is not the work of government to issue IDs. It is the work of government to identify Kenyans.
Now, it even gets worse. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is continuing its global push to support its so-called government-backed digital ID programs, and this time setting its sight on Kenya, where it will advise the government on that country's Maisha Namba digital ID initiative that is currently under development. So, according to a Kenyan news agency, Gates' role is assisting the Kenyan government in its development, and the rollout of Maisha Namba was announced after a recent series of the closed-door meetings with Kenyan President William Ruto. According to Biometric Update, MySha number is supposedly expected to address different challenges, such as identifying and authenticating citizens, safeguarding primary registration documents such as birth certificates and national identity cards, and improving the management of the social programs and government operations. The project has been met with skepticism in some parts of the country. Rights groups have also been expressing concern over the possibility of discrimination and the erosion of privacy. But listen, I just told you in a very nice way. Now let me just put it blatantly to you. The program targets the birth of new babies. So once you have your baby, before your baby leaves the hospital, you no longer get a paper birth certificate, but then you get a digital one that is somehow implanted somewhere on somebody's body. Think about that, but have a listen to this.
The digital ID, which has been a big problem to us for a very long time, is now on a testing mode for the next 2 months. I have been assured by all the stakeholders, led by the ministries concerned, that by December, we will be able to launch digital ID, where every Kenyan don't have to carry any paper, plastic or otherwise, as an ID, that they should be able to be identified digitally using their iris or their fingerprints, and we can transact without the necessity of people struggling to identify who they are. And the proudest part of it is that we don't have to spend the billions that we have spent on all the other manenos, as all of you know.
We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
Kenya is in serious trouble. Now, for you to accept this, that means you're going to be completely surveilled and controlled. Think about it. So they have targeted the new babies, of course, even the ordinary citizens, the grown-ups, the young ones, the teenagers, and even the elderly ones will receive this digital ID. But they will then create a new generation where they'll be completely under this digital ID and they have no choice.
The United Nations is proposing a universal digital identification system that would be directly connected to people's bank accounts and payment apps. So if everybody had a UN ID, this would connect the whole world under an identification system, because the UN is all countries. So you wouldn't only have a United States ID. You would also have a UN ID. The UN had this agenda briefing. It's called the Global Digital Compact, an open, free, and secure digital future for all. Now, why would they want to connect to the banking? If there's some way that the whole world is going to communicate under one currency, then they're going to have to be identified under one unit of identification. And so that's why I thought it was interesting that it wasn't just ID, but if this UN ID, the goal is to be connected to my banking system. I still think this is so strange because this is directly correlated with the whole idea that the IMF wants to create a global banking system. What's interesting is that when you look at what the World Economic Forum propagates, they want to propagate human identification with a biometric system. And they have this program called the New Champions, where they allow new companies to come in to help them with their agenda. Fingerprint cards joined the World Economic Forum's New Champion initiative, and their whole objective is to create biometrical identifications and put it on debit cards, smart cards, and identification cards.
So now we must ensure country leaders have the tools and expertise they need to make this work. That's why our foundation is proud to support 50 in 5 alongside the World Bank and other partners. It's an example of collaboration, innovation, and smart investment. And it builds on the bank's Identification for Development initiative, which has been meeting the steady demand from countries to modernize ID and civil registration systems. By 2028, more than 500 million more people will have a digital identity that allows them to access employment and education opportunities more easily. as well as financial services, healthcare, and government programs.
The idea had been by central banks to introduce this, as we said, central bank digital currency. But have you ever seen an article or a video or, whatever description of what it actually looks like? I mean, with central bank paper money, we know what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
Bank digital currency, we know, and, we've used it ourselves. We know what it looks like. But what does central bank digital currency look like? You see? So they never talk about that because people won't actually like the looks of it.
Yeah.
Because it apparently looks, and several central banks apparently, as I heard from my sources, have already fully developed the final stage of CBDC. I mean, it comes in stages, initially likely through your mobile phone, but that's only an intermediate step. And the final stage is, it's small, and it's the size of a grain of rice. Now, why is that?
And that grain of rice is your entire wallet, or?
Yes, it's your digital ID.
Yeah.
Your wallet can be your passport, your key. Now, of course, what we found with our debit cards or credit cards is they've already now moved to the system, RFID chips, RFID technology, where you just wave the thing, contactless.
Yes.
That is sort of the conditioning us in this direction. That in the future you'll just wave your hand because you've got the microchip implant under your skin, and because and each step there's a rational reason. It's easier just to wave this, isn't it? It's much faster because we always have to wait in the queues as everyone types in their numbers and all that. So just wave it; it's quicker. But the next rationalization would be, but you can lose your card. Somebody can steal your card, and then you're just waving. That's kind of risky. Wouldn't it be nice if you couldn't lose it and nobody could steal it? But it's clear that that's it is almost a step too far for a lot of people because it is a violation of human dignity to actually inject something like that under the skin. So that's where you need some more persuasion.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that this concept of universal basic income has been around for around a century, where everyone should get some kind of citizens, payment. But the billionaire elites have so far not liked that. But since 2015, they've all come out. I mean, all the big billionaires and World Economic Forum have come out, this is a good idea, universal basic income. Well, why suddenly now? Because now we have the technology for the microchip implant. And so in 2017, Bill Gates came out and said that universal basic income is a good idea, but it's too early to introduce it. Now, what was still missing? So we had the technology for the microchip implant, but what was missing was the digital ID hadn't been introduced.
So we're seeing that, these things is right in front of our eyes, so at the end it shall speak and not lie. So we seeing that, hey, these things are right before our eyes. A lot of people say, that's not this, that is not that. Hey, it's here, man. We seeing it happening, so that's the main goal right there in front of your face. So we already know we coming upon this time of trouble that we have never seen before. Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation is coming at a fast pace. We knowing that we're in the end time. Man, we're very excited. So now, let's start today's lesson, a quick lesson through the Spirit. Let's go here to Isaiah chapter 30. Isaiah chapter 30. We'll start up at verse 1. Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1 said, "Woe to the rebellious children, says the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." Verse 2, "that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth the prophets to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt." Verse 3, and it reads that, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." So a lot of people are going to trust in this new system, this new digital society, this new digital currency. Also, they're going to trust in that what MOTB. And one thing about it will be your confusion, will be your disorder. Also, it will be your destruction. You know what I'm saying? Man, it is right in front of our eyes. So we seeing right now, the modern day Pharaoh is the so-called white man. You already seeing what's going on there in Kenya. You know, we seeing that this Kenya president is in bed with the modern day Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? We seeing Bill Gates, you know, it's constantly rolling it out. The first trial, so we already know that digital ID is coming into play. So we already know they want what? Total control. So let's read this again. Verse 2 again. It said, to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, the so-called white man, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. You know, trust in this broken reed, this system that's getting ready to come into play. This 5G, 6G, blockchain system, this digital society. You know what I'm saying? That's the image of the beast. Is seeing it happening right before Revelation chapter 13 is speaking. Verse 3 said, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. So we seeing that, you know, they're doing these test runs in Kenya. So, you know, it's going to spread to other countries around the world. Already had started in China first. So we seeing all these things going on in these other countries. It's coming to America very soon. All of a sudden, when they say peace and safety, a lot of people right now are relaxing in their leads, constantly eating and drinking good. But hey, it's getting ready to be a thing of the past. So these things are right in front of our eyes. So let's go here. Second Ezra, just random scriptures. Second Ezra chapter 5 and verse 1. It said, nevertheless, as the coming, the tokens of the prophecies of the signs of the time, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. So we seeing that, you know, a lot of people will be taken in a great number when this break loose, this order out of chaos. We already knowing that it's going to be a lot of death, a lot of destruction, a lot of distress. You know what I'm saying? The beginning of sorrow. Also, Jacob's trouble is at the door. We constantly warn you, left and right, it is here. So many will be taken in a great number. The body count is getting ready to be great. We constantly warn. Also, we knowing that famine of the word is coming. The Lord is getting ready to close up the mouthpiece and bring forth that judgment. The Lord is getting ready to bring it. We are constantly warning you. The Lord is coming. The Lord is coming. So now, let's go here to Job's chapter 5. And the Lord is getting ready to to interrupt his enterprise very soon. The Lord is getting ready to cut him off. He's in for a rude awakening, even though that he's bringing forth all these different devices, you know, where they'll be convenient, you know, very fast and quick. Just wave your hand. You don't have to do anything. Just wave your hand or just show your face. Pay with your face. So all this face recognition is biometric. All these things are getting ready to come to play. This technology, this AI, transhuman. Once again, we go over these things over and over. These lying wonders. We'll sound like a broken record. Hey, man, but we going to keep sounding like a broken record until the Lord shut our mouth and the Lord bring forth this judgment and also bring forth the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. So now, let's go here to Job chapter 5. And we'll start up at Job chapter 5, and we'll start up at verse 12. And it reads that he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So he is going into who? Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And these devices is their agenda, their plan. They're trying to carry out, trying to implement, trying to execute, trying to perform it, or they're trying to fulfill it. They're imagining a vain thing. So let's read this again. He disappointed the devices of the crafty. Who is the crafty? The global elites. You know, the one that's constantly trying to spiritual wickedness in high places. Put it like that. You know, trying to keep this lesson very clean. Let's read this again. Salakia. Job chapter 5 and verse 12. It said, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So the Lord is getting ready to interrupt. The Lord is getting ready to cut them off. And one thing about it is that when the Lord bring it, there will be no more talking. Verse 13 said, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsels of the forward is carried headlong. Hey man, the Lord get ready to do it. Verse 14, they meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night. So hey, but one thing about it, the Lord is what is constantly making Esau barren bare. You know, the Lord is removing the covering cast. We seeing all the lies and the deception. You know, it's the Lord is shedding light on everything. Everything is being revealed. So like right before the great and glorious return of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. But he saves the poor. Who is the poor? The true believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, starting with the prophets, the 144,000, also that great remnant. For the sword, from the sword, and from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. So let's read this again. Verse 15 said, but he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. So that's what the Lord's getting ready to deliver us with great glory and great power. He's getting ready to sustain us. We already knowing that the Lord's name shall be a strong tower. The righteous run into it and is safe. That's what's getting ready to happen. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of the time. The Lord's getting ready to bring that sword, that judgment, you know, and he's getting ready to lay this place down even with the ground. So one thing about the counsel of the Lord will stand. He's getting ready to disappoint the devices of the crafty. You know, they're thinking that they're getting ready, they're getting it off the ground. They are feeling like that everything is working out, but the Lord's getting ready to put a monkey wrench in their program. So now let's go here to Revelation chapter 3. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10, because this is very close to this time. Revelations chapter 3 and verse 10. And the reader said, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So Lord's going to keep you from that hour of temptation because you kept the patience. That means that you persevere. You know, you hold fast what you had. You know, you endure. You constantly did the will of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So the Lord is going to see us through the finish line. We already knowing that they're rolling it out right before our doing test runs on a lot of different things. They're getting ready to go online. It's called this new beast banking system. But one thing about it, the only way you will be a part of this society, you're going to have to take it under the skin with those digital IDs that they're putting into play. UN digital IDs. Also, we knowing that a lot of these things are funded by the UN. And also, we knowing that America will be invaded by the UN, Russia, and China. And also in collaboration with the EU, NATO. So we knowing all these things are coming into place. We're not ignorant of Satan's device. Let's get this and close out. So the Lord's going to keep us from that hour of temptation because we stay loyal to the Lord. We fear the Lord. We love the Lord. We ask the Lord every day. How long, O Lord? The Lord's getting ready to do a mighty work. That's why the Lord said, wait on me until I rise up against the prey. So now let's go here. Let's go to Zephaniah. Let's close out there. Zephaniah chapter 3. We'll close out here. Zephaniah chapter 3, I think it's around verse 9. Zephaniah chapter 3, maybe verse 8, Salaki. Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8. Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8. And one thing about it, we are not ignorant of Satan's device. He's trying to get that advantage. You already know that he's rolling it out across these countries. We know that it's coming to America, but when it comes to America, it's going to be all of a sudden. So we got to keep our eyes on the prize. We got to redeem the time wise. We got to Hey, man, get your house in order. Let go of the mortal thoughts. And, hey, man, we're here. So let me stop rambling. Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8. He said, therefore, wait ye upon me, says the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nation, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour unto them my indignation, even my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. And that fire of his jealousy goes into that laser and terrify also those IBCM missiles. So his determination is to gather the nation. So we already know and we're seeing that the Lord is gathering the nation already. We're seeing that the Lord is constantly putting the pieces together, the chess pieces, left and right. We all almost upon that said measure. We almost at the finish line. All we got to do is constantly what? The Lord said, wait on me. And the prayer is what? Is the heathen nation and also these tutors. The Lord is getting ready to what? To execute judgment for us, man. I'm telling you, we're very close. So the title of the daily lesson, once again, is Watchman Report, Kenya Digital ID. So I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekakadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.